Hi, second graders. Today we're going to add a couple more pages to our animal books. So you already have the page that you wrote about what the animal looks like. That was on page 2. Today we're going to start thinking about page 3 and page 4. So if you look at your graphic organizer, you'll see that the next box talks about the habitat. Where does the animal live? So we're going to write some sentences about where the animal lives, and then you decide which kind of nonfiction text feature you want to add. You might add a map, or you might add an illustration. If you have a printer at your house, you could even print out a photograph and add that, but it's completely up to you. Maybe a nice illustration with a caption. Anyway, we will see, but I just want to remind you about a couple things. One of them is indenting. So you can see right here where I first wrote the word, my very first word on my page, I moved it over. That's called indenting. And remember we talked about like a couple finger spaces would be good for that indenting. And then all the rest of the lines, I didn't do that. Another thing I'd like for you to think about on this page, page 3, that talks about where the animal lives, is this is a great time to get some good adjectives into your writing. So I will read a little bit of mine, and then if you hear some adjectives, take note of it and say it, even though I won't be able to hear you. So mine says camels live in dry, hot deserts. Dromedary camels, which have one hump, can be found in Africa, India, Asia, and the Middle East. There are lots of wild dromedary camels in Australia too. Bactrian camels, which have 2 humps, live in the deserts of Asia. So I tried to use adjectives in mine. Dry and hot are both adjectives. Also wild is an adjective. Yeah. So that's why I thought for my page, just because I did mention a lot of places, that a good text feature for this page on my book might be a map. Just because I could show all those places. Or if I didn't want to draw a map, I could just draw a desert, because that's a cool thing too. You decide. Okay, the next page will be about what your animal eats and what eats your animal. So we're turning over to page 4. And you have your graphic organizer where you took notes about what your animal eats and what eats your animal. So this is just a great time for you to take that information and put it into sentences. And that will be page 4. And then think to yourself too, what would be some good nonfiction text features that I could use on that page? And remember, if you're having trouble thinking of them, there's a list of nonfiction text features. And the blue words, you can click on the blue words that say, I think it says nonfiction text features list or something like that. And then you can get reminded, because there's bold print, italic print, so many fun choices. All right, great. Don't forget to be showing your teacher what you're doing on these books. You can take a picture and email your teacher, or you can take a picture and put it on Seesaw. And we're super excited to see what you're doing. So far, you've done page 2, which was about what your animal looked like, page 3 after this, which is about where your animal lives, and page 4, which is what your animal eats and what eats it. Maybe nothing eats your animal, and that's okay too. You don't have to write anything for that. All right, have fun. Can't wait to see what you do.